Another beautiful night to expose the system. These are the system bypass methods. Everything the system does to keep us in loops of endless suffering. Because remember the three soul types, stabilizer, witness, and sovereign, that keep us source connected, light embodied. Everything they do, our real way of life, is to keep us disconnected, ungrounded, and suffering. So let's expose. So, food and nutrition. Ultra-processed foods, seed oils, dyes, chemical additives. Keeps the body inflamed, lowers discernment and intuition. Sugar spikes equal collapse, and bypass triggers. I'm not going to get into the energetic definitions of everything because each of these categories could have its own 10-minute video. This is just a breeze overview of what we're living in right now. Pharma and big health. Overprescriptions, mood stabilizers, birth control, SSRIs. Blunts emotional capacity and bypasses natural response cycles. Pushes numbness over resolution, traps you in soft collapse. Media and entertainment. Constant dopamine cycles. TikTok scrolls, binge shows, social media. Trains your brain for passive intake. Bypass of real experience. Encourages comparison and mimic reflexes. Our school and corporate structures. Performance-based approval, hierarchical control, grade chasing. They teach you to seek validation outside of yourself, locks you in survival loops. You have to play small to survive energy. We already know the system didn't create schools to breed sovereign, independent thinkers. They made the culture so that you would go straight into their workforce. Spiritual bypass trends. Oh Lord. Love and light only culture, toxic positivity, fake ascension talk, manifestation. Most of the crap you see on TikTok, 99%, even your favorite light gurus, are mimic coded. They might look the part, they might sound the part, they might seem to know what they're talking about, but they don't have the real sovereign backing behind them. And if you're not sovereign and you're talking about spiritual stuff, you're most likely mimic. It encourages avoiding shadow work, collapse fears, and real awakening. It becomes its own bypass loop through spiritual language. I cannot stress enough, if you're not sovereign, do not manifest. You're working in the fourth dimension, and you do not want to be working in the fourth dimension. Whole separate video, I'll get to it. The system doesn't trap you through chains, it traps you through habits, comforts, and fake safety. And by the time you realize it, it's bypassed your soul's sovereignty in the smallest, most daily ways. I'm a go-getter. I couldn't stop there. That didn't sound like enough. So we also have frequency manipulated music. It alters your emotional state subtly, encourages passive consumption or emotional bypass. Synthetic vitamins and supplements. They're marketed as health, but often filled with fillers that overload your system and do absolutely nothing. I would know. I used to take so many supplements every day thinking it was good, and I started throwing them up every single day. Caffeine dependency overstimulates the nervous system, masks exhaustion instead of addressing the actual tiredness. You see this all the time. I can't do anything without my coffee. Isn't that sad? You shouldn't depend on anything. Vapes. Marketed as better than smoking. Chemically bypasses your nervous system, feeds addiction loops, keeps emotional body in suppression, encourages spiritual suppression under the guise of harmless habits. They market it as, ooh, I'm being bad, look at what I'm doing, I'm so rebellious. You're rebelliously bypassing any sort of intuition or spiritual connection that you can have. That is one of the worst things you can do for you. They knew what they were doing. Some more to keep this rolling. And yes, I'm reading notes. I don't sit here and take notes for hours for nothing. I'm reading them. Influencer worship, parasocial relationships, projects power onto others, bypasses personal authority and discernment. Toxic gym and body culture. Obsessive body hacking keeps you externally focused, disconnects you from intuition and inner sovereignty. Video games and simulation escapism. If it's used as a primary escape, you bypass real experience and emotional processing. The beauty industry and cosmetic manipulation feeds false identity, bypasses acceptance, and fuels comparison collapse loops. Trauma porn and toxic reality shows normalizes dysfunction and feeds collapse loops and emotional numbness. Debt culture, consumer financing, keeps you in survival bypass, chasing comfort through purchases instead of actual freedom. The system doesn't care if you're awake. As long as you're bypassing in the name of health, success, or real love, they still own you. Anyways, not to scare you, it is just information. The first step in waking up is acknowledging and knowing. Know what you're putting in your body. Awareness is key. You can't prevent all of it. I still consume half of this. As long as you're aware and you're working towards sovereignty, light always overcomes all. Yes, our food's not good for us. Yes, we still have to eat it. Yes, we're still gonna listen to 21 Savage. Love you guys. You know I absolutely can. If you want more of a deep dive into what the system does to keep us trapped in endless bypass loops, you can click on that comment and watch that first video. If not, this is going to be your alternatives and overrides to how you can get yourself unstuck. I'm going to hit this in the exact same order as that first video. So food and nutrition. For the ultra-processed foods, seed oils, and dyes that chemically inflame your body and blunt your intuition, and sugar spikes that trigger collapse loops, you're going to want to aim for real whole foods when you can. Choose oils like coconut, olive, and avocado. Hydrate well. Pay attention to how food feels after eating, not just how it tastes. You'll notice your discernment sharpens naturally. For pharma and health industry, overprescription of stabilizers, mood meds, hormonal blockers blunts emotional response and locks your bypass cycles. What you're going to want to do is research your options. Look for holistic practitioners, or at minimum, stay informed. Empower your body's baseline health. Movement, breathwork, and natural mood stabilizers like adaptogens or sunlight go a long way. You're your own best advocate. Internal healing is what's supposed to be going on. You can cure anything internally. I'm not saying go cold turkey on your anxiety meds, but I'm saying first step, be aware. Second step, you're gonna realize you can heal yourself a lot more than these pills they're giving you. Media and entertainment. Scroll loops and passive binging trap you into consumption mode. Mimic reflex, bypass of real experience. You can curate your media. Follow creators who activate you, not drain you. Swap one scroll a day for silence or real conversation. Notice the difference in your mental field when you receive versus consume. I quit binge scrolling, watching anything, period. You don't have to be that severe. I'd recommend limiting your time. An hour a day, 30 minutes a day. Only consuming things that educate you, not just funny memes all the time. Our school and corporate systems. Performance loops, authority seeking, validation chasing. Playing small to survive. Practice celebrating effort over approval. Try reframing work as an offering, not an obligation. Notice where you're seeking permission instead of standing in your own authority, even in micro moments. My favorite, spiritual bypass trends. Encourages shadow avoidance, promotes bypass and collapse in disguise. The love and light, toxic positivity. Manifest your life into perfection. Anchor in truth over comfort. Choose shadow work alongside light work. Acknowledge all of your emotions, not just the ones that you don't like. Recognize that true manifestation comes after integration, not avoidance. All of these spells and all of these crystals and tools, they're nice and all, but if you're not implementing shadow work, those parasites stuck to you, they're not gonna just get rid of themselves, guys. We're going to breeze through the rest of these. For frequency manipulated music, you're going to want intentional silence breaks and high resonance sound, like 432 hertz. I love sleeping to 528 hertz. Helps tremendously. Curate personal playlists with clear, natural frequencies. Use sound intentionally, not passively. Music should stabilize, not stimulate. I'll recommend some artists below. For synthetic vitamins and supplements, you're going to want to override with whole foods and herbal or plant-based supplements if necessary. Simplify it. Less is more when it comes to support. Listen to your body over marketing claims. For caffeine dependency culture, use natural energy resets, hydration, movement, and breath work. Caffeine only when aligned, not habitual. Learn your body's real rhythm without crutches. Caffeine is supposed to be a tool, not a habit. I used to think, I don't drink any caffeine ever. I'm gonna triple scoop pre-workout because it makes me feel good. I thought I couldn't work out without pre-workout. Guess what? My workouts now, I never needed that. Vapes. Override by nervous system regulation practices. Grounding, cold exposure, breath retention. Reframe triggers instead of masking them. Choose sober clarity over chemical override. Not a single good thing. Influencer worship and parasocial bypass. Anchor your power in your own discernment. Shift from they must know to what do I know. It views others as mirrors, not masters. Toxic gym and body culture. Move for vitality, not vanity. Choose embodied movement that builds presence, like walking, dancing, or functional strength, not compulsive chasing. This was a big one for me. I used to want to hit a PR every time I'd go to the gym. Less is more. Video games, simulation escapism. Anchor in the real. Let yourself choose conscious reflection that reflects real skills, connection, or creativity. No more passive loops. Beauty industry, cosmetic manipulation. Make your appearance a reflection of your essence, not a mask for approval. Choose adornment with intention, not to bypass acceptance. Trend chasing, it girl mimicry. Root in timeless expression. Choose what resonates with your truth, not what earns clicks, trends, or fleeting praise. You are the reference. Toxic reality TV shows, trauma porn. Refuse to normalize dysfunction for entertainment. Surround yourself with content that restores nervous system safety and honors healing. Debt culture, consumer financing loops. Build with what you have. Choose investments over escapes. Anchor in delayed gratification and real freedom, not comfort dressed as ownership. It doesn't matter how woke you are if you're still running on bypass loops. The system cashes in either way. Awakening isn't freedom if you're just trading one bypass for another. If you're not sovereign over your patterns, you're not sovereign at all.